drums breaking all the bars. Yo, the crowd's feeling it, energy's alive. Spotlight on the tails where the future arrives. Bass in the air, every story's a spark. Late night on bass, we're light in the dark. Bass night stories on the stage, we vibe. Talk show magic where the chain comes alive. Tokens in the flow, let the legends provide. Late night on bass, we're taking it worldwide.
Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday edition of Late Night on Base, the road to Onchain Summit 2025. This is that show, the road to Onchain Summit, as always, every Tuesday leading up to the event, August 22nd at the Howard. Tickets are on sale. You need to be there. I would argue it is the number one event on base, specifically, and for the whole year. Maybe tomorrow's event probably tops it, just because, the Chad, Brian Armstrong, and very select few people for TBA are going to be that one. But this is a close second, and it's fun, and it's a blast. 3-day event at Howard. Buy your tickets today. Anyways, what's up, everyone? I'm Bill. What I do, if you don't know, is I don't shave when the market's pumping. Actually, I just am lazy. I really should shave. It's, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to go a little scruff, bruv. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, it's pretty fun. The market is doing really well. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But also what we're doing recently these days is a series about the top farcaster apps and what's going on, because, Base is doubling down on farcaster. And a lot of projects are building really cool stuff, using it as a distribution vehicle to, capture interest. If you're a project in the space, you should create a farcaster app because of the distribution. Base team believes in the new Coinbase wallet, TBA, whatever they call it. And if they do become that Apple store of the on-chain world, and there's like an app area where all the top apps can be, you're going to want to be there. You are going to want to be there. Anyways, today we have a dope show. Super dope. We got the Chad Toady Hawk on later today. Toady Hawk. You guys don't know Toady. Toady is the man. And he has actually, I think Betr is like one of the number ones. They were recently the number one app on farcaster. So that's pretty dope. They were the number one app on farcaster. Toady's just a legend in his own right. So we'll have him on later on the show. And we got the Duels team. I'm excited for these people. The world's first prediction market for content. And, we got Nas on from Duels. And we're going to talk about what they got. I know the base team's super excited for it. So we're going to talk about prediction market for content. It's an interesting avenue that I don't think many of us know about. So we will talk about that. MH, my friend, make this show every day. MH, we all know you're a Chad, and I think highly of you, MH. Appreciate you. Cool PFP, by the way. So yeah, what we'll do before we get on, I think Nas is going to come out in probably about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So what we're going to do before then, drum roll, is check out what's going on in the markets. So this time we're going to do something a little different. I'm not going to go straight to base memes, because right now what's happening is majors are running the show. If you're new here, I wrote a quick tweet, and it's I get it. A lot of you don't have majors, and that's fine, but it drives the market. You kind of have to know what's going on, because money flows. It starts with Bitcoin, then it goes into Ethereum, then it goes into like XRP, XLM. So right now I'm looking at the chart of XRP, and it just looks so good. What, from my count, Elliott Waves, forget all these like stuff. This was an ABC correction after this whole move up from 230 to there. So my thinking is up to 305 was wave 1. This was ABC correction. Wave 2, wave 3 is about to begin. Wave 3 takes it to the, is typically the strongest move. If my count is correct, And this does not go below this gray line. Everything's invalidated if it goes below 279, 280. If my count is valid, this goes into price discovery. Your bags are going to moon because what's going to happen is people are going to rotate. The next one up, first of all, if you guys don't believe it, just look at what XLM did. This was XLM. It was about 23 cents about a week ago. And then it just exploded to 51 cents. I repeat, and you might think, oh, it's a 2x, bruh. Who cares? Bro, this is not a shit coin. This is not a degen in the trenches at 500K market cap. These are like billions of dollars. The amount of money to do these crazy moves is ridiculous. So if it did something like that, I mean, geez, this thing is just going to go wild numbers. Obviously, you could use leverage if you want to. I got a link in my bio. Get up to $400 in rewards. Just throwing that out there. Bitsunex. I like Bitsunex. But yeah, this is crazy. So this was XLM. Now, this is the one that everyone should pay attention to. Whether or not you like majors or not. This is the one. Let's go. Doge. This is the one. You might be wondering, why do I care about Doge, Bill? Doge is such an old coin. So what you might be thinking, right? But I think you're wrong, because what happens is Doge's inclination of what's going on in the meme markets. When Doge runs, it's game over. All the memes that are quality are going to run because it's going to catch a bit, because it's a sector. Everything runs in sectors. Doge has the same double pattern, double run and bottom, the exact same thing of what XLM did. And I tweeted this. Let's see. Let me go grab that. Let's see. It's such a fun time to be alive in the market. All right, so let's look at this tweet. So if you look here, tip for all noobs. Let's see. Tip for all noobs. Majors run first. Everything else follows. Look at what XLM did. Methinks Doge is next. And when that happens, oh man, our memes are going to go parabolic. Lock TF in. If you don't know what TF is, you need a crash course on degen talking. It's called Lock the Fuck In. Anyways, so let's just kind of see this. This to me is basically the exact same thing as what XLM did. And so double bottom, boom. So I'm expecting that same type of move from Doge. And again, if that happens, your base memes are going to go parabolic. It just simply is that. And again, if you guys know what probably is my number one play, and I like a lot of base moves. I love Boomer. I love OKEG. But those are lower caps. To me, big whales don't necessarily go. I'm not saying those aren't going to do well. Those will easily go to 100, 200 million, in my opinion. But you got to kind of follow what whales do. Whales go for thicker liquidity and something that's been around a little bit more. So for me, if Doge does the move that I expect it to do, then the number one catalyst to me is, let's just look at Ski. And again, this happens to all your base memes. Ski is the exact same thing. Double bottom, boom. All-time highs, 390 million. Look at this. This is a complete wave one of the macro 3. This like consolidated for about 6 months. Boom, boom, A, B, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom. It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. Send the dog to many billions of market cap. And if you think about it, if base is smart, they would help it out, because green candles are the best form of marketing. I'm telling you right now, if we have another run like we did in May of 2024, base is going to get more attention than they would ever imagine. Just how it is. Degens are going to see, oh my God, everything is pumping. It's not just going to start with Ski. Everything will pump, especially the ones that have been consolidating for a while. There's so many good projects. OKEG, the Boomer, so many good ones. I'm ready for it. But anyways, we could talk another time about the state of the trenches. But if you are sidelined, I think you're not going to make it. I think you're not going to make it. But you know who will make it? You know who will make it? You might be wondering. It's Nas. Nas from Duels. My friend, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Bill.
Dude, pleasure, man. Pleasure. Whereabouts are you? Local, stateside, somewhere else in the world?
We are in Canada, so our team's kind of spread out everywhere, but I'm personally in Canada.
Very cool, very cool. International scene. I like it. Well, it's awesome to connect with you. I'm looking forward to diving deep about duels, farcaster, everything that's going on. Real quick though, we got a shout out from Brian on Base is a gym. Mark C609. Brian on Base is a gym. They will be on the show tomorrow, noon PST. That's what we do. Anyways, so Nas, we're gonna have about, I'm gonna guess 1,500 to 2,000 people going to be tuning in. I just know it. These numbers get pretty decent. And so for those that are tuning in right now, we're vibing, we're talking. They may not know much about Duels. So if you don't mind, talk to us. What is Duels?
Yeah, for sure. So to give you a little bit of context, our team's been kind of building this consumer space for the last few years. We noticed, the rise of content coins, everything that was happening on Zora and creator coins. And we started asking ourselves a question like, well, what can we do with these coins to increase this relevance and increase exposure for these coins? So we saw this intersection between gamification on one side and then content coins. And we started experimenting with a bunch of different ideas on creating consumer apps in the farcaster ecosystem that can bring in content coins, create these gamified experiences around them, create new value, and then out of this value, bring the value back to the original creators. So we had several different ideas. We have a platform that allows us to build these apps very, very quickly, which will eventually open up. And then we started with our first idea, which is this intersection between prediction markets and content coins. So we call it prediction market for content. It's built as a farcaster mini app, works in Coinbase Wallet as well too. And you come to the app, you can go and create a coin. So anyone can create a coin. You upload a piece of media, you can name a ticker, you categorize it. So if it's photography, if it's art, if it's 3D, this week we're going to be supporting video very soon. And then you coin it, and essentially we create 1 billion tokens for that particular piece of content. And then what we do is we match that piece of content against another piece of content in the same vertical. So photography versus photography, art versus art. And then for 24 hours, those pieces duel. As a consumer, you can come in, you can vote on which piece you think over time will get more traction and visibility, and then you can vote with ETH. So you can vote as little as 1 cent if you want, or as much as you want. And in exchange, you actually get content coins for that particular coin now, depositing your wallet as a consumer. 24 hours later, whoever raised the most amount of ETH, they get a win on their piece of content, and then our algorithm auto matches them with another piece of content that also got a win, and then they duel again for another 24 hours. But what ends up happening is some of these pieces go on winning streaks, and as they go on winning streaks, they move up our content feed and they get more exposure, and then eventually they get on featured duels on the top of our app. And every time they get more exposure, it's more opportunity for consumers to buy their content coins. So now all of a sudden you've got curation happening because the best content rises to the top. You get content coins that are actually doing something, and then this gamified experience. And what we think over time is that a lot of the accrual is going to go to the app layer token, which I can share with you a little bit more about that. And the content coins are really just a way for engagement. They're meant to stay as micro cap, coins. And then a lot of the value is going to accrue to the app token. I'll pause there. We can go through how the fees work and how we share. And
yeah. No, there's a lot to dive in, and we're going to dive in. So just the overall premise is, okay, so piece of content versus a piece of content, it's like a duel. Kind of reminds me of back in the day, there was like a betting app called FanDuel, which I think I ended up going public. It was the same type of thing where it's just like one person, I think maybe a team versus another team, and you would just battle, and like whoever wins would win the prize. I think it's similar. So okay, so 2 pieces of content, they're matched, art versus art, whatever, photography versus photography. Now you bet in ETH and you get that content coin in return. Now let me ask you this: is a content coin that you receive, is it liquid?
Yep. So these are ERC20 tokens. You can trade them directly in the app. So you can swap them directly within the farcaster wallet. And then it's all built on Doppler protocol in the back end. They got a front end called pure.st. They get all indexed over there, and you can go and trade them over there. A lot of traders on Pure are trading them outside of Duels as soon as they get picked up. So these are liquid coins, but the whole premise here, what we're saying is these content coins are not supposed to moon. They are on-chain attention primitives. However, we're going to be launching an app token, and we believe that app token is where a lot of the value will accrue. And then we've got a platform which allows you to build these apps very, very quickly, and we're eventually going to open that up. So we have a network of all these different experiences that can be created around these content coins. And then, a creator can upload the content in one place and pushes out into all the different experiences and token and app experiences.
This is a really interesting flywheel, as you say. So say these pieces of content, the winner then gets matched with a different winner through your algorithm. And as it proceeds to rank and win, then it goes higher into the visibility section. And so as a creator, you want as much attention as possible. So if you win, then you said you had like a leaderboard or something, right? Trending or whatever. So now naturally people who come into the app will see that content first. Is that correct?
You got it, 100%. And the way the fees work is we take a couple of percent every time you do a boost, and then we send 0.2% directly to the creator. They also get 10 million tokens, so they can sell them down the road if it starts to increase in value. And then we take a percentage of our platform fee and we put it back to buying the tokens as well. So we're trying to start that flywheel.
Interesting. No, very cool. And we're going to go through the app. I want to talk to Farcaster because actually this is a huge series of what we're doing. We're talking to the top Farcaster apps as people have been watching my shows. Base is doubling down, tripling down, if I can say, on Farcaster itself as a distribution mechanism. They have huge plans. They have plans to make this new Coinbase wallet the, on-chain app store, basically. And so you have to have exposure if you're a builder through the Farcaster mini app, and you guys do, and we want to get your thoughts on that. For those that are, by the way, what we're going to be doing with this episode, it's a live stream, but we're also going to cut it up into a podcast. So you'll be able to listen to it anytime you want on Spotify, on Pods Media, YouTube as well, because we want to further amplify base builders like yourself more than just live streams. Even though I like live streams, podcasts do have their role. So right now, what we're seeing is just you guys tweeted this is how it looks right now. Satoshi versus Game Boot, and it tells you how many wins it has, how many losses it has, and I guess this is the volume of people betting. This one's pretty good. I would assume Satoshi is going to be going on a massive streak. I like it.
Yeah. And then you can click on, if you want to click on the art, you can go and you see a card, and then you see a lot of more of the details around the particular piece. If you press boost, that's when a pop-up comes in to see how much ETH that you want to transfer over, and then how many content coins you get. And then you can also press on the user as well and see what else that they've created and how much they've collected.
Let's go in the app. So right now, everything is done through the Farcaster mini app, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So I actually have. Okay, cool. So let's just see this real quick. For those that don't know, you can go on to Farcaster, and there's a mini app tabs. If you don't know, if you don't have Duels, you can just type it in Duels. It comes up. I've already added it as to on my home screen, so it's right here. You click it, and it loads up. So let's experiment, shall we? You down? Nas, can you hear me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
Here.
Yeah, I was having a little trouble earlier. Maybe it's a little shy to be on Bill's show.
Let's see. What does it say on the top there?
It's just circle. It's just
yeah.
Technical difficulties. This is all good. It happens on the best of them.
Yeah, maybe click on rankings and then click over and see if you see anything.
All right. Seems like nothing
coming over.
All right, so nothing's
maybe
coming.
Shut it down and reboot.
Yeah, let me just make sure that everything else is going well. Like, let's just say we have an app here. Yeah, everything.
Were you using it before?
No. I haven't used. I'm tried using Duels before earlier. It didn't
Yeah.
work earlier today. So
Okay, let me share with you the actual link here because you might be opening up one of the other ones. So
yeah,
I'll
let's just
send this to you on X real quick.
Okay. You might need to, talk to your dev. Be like, yo, dev.
Okay, so take a link out of that. Just grab that link that I sent you on X,
You got it.
and it should open up.
Yeah, it probably will. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see if this is cooking. All right.
Oh, the spinning wheel of death.
Bad timing. Bad timing.
Horrible timing. Yeah.
It happens. It happens. That's the whole thing about building in public. Not everything goes well, but the most important thing is getting the bugs out of the way now versus a year down the line when
the beta tag
hopefully
is definitely working right now.
What's that?
That beta tag is definitely in full effect. Full effect there right now.
Exactly. It would be weird if it was working flawlessly. I'd be like, what is this magical genius? Well, listen, I don't think it's going to be working right now, so we'll just kind of put that to the side. But okay, so let's go back then, I guess, to the X account and kind of just talk to us. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about, because I have a lot of questions about you. I have a lot of questions about why base, and I know there's a lot of people, of high-end people that are very much excited. You got people like Jesse Pollock, the founder of Base, following you. David So, he's the reason why we even connected. He's all about you. Shout you out. What is it about this prediction model, this prediction market that you guys are building that you think resonates so well with the top end users of Base? Why do you think they care so much?
So I think content coins are a real thing. Creator coins are a real thing. And, the thing with these tokens is I see a future where various different applications are pulling these creator coins, these content coins together into different apps since they're all composable and creating all sorts of experiences around them and then bringing back the value across, various different applications as well as the creators. So, and then, to me, creator coins are this perfect opportunity to create attention, get people to interact with content, pull people into an application, pull people into an experience, and then from there, really drive some sort of behavior, bring value back to the creator. And these experiences with this value, I think a lot of the value will tie back to the to the token at the app layer. And I think it's just a matter of time before an entire ecosystem and network of applications are all working together to share these content coins and create different experiences around them.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, because the Zora model is basically similar. Obviously, Base went down that hole a lot, and it got a lot of pushback. Let me ask you though, devil's advocate. So from my perspective, what you guys are building is extremely cool. I love the ability, dueling content. I think it's a home run hit. Devil's advocate though is the creator coin aspect. There's an argument to be made. I'm curious to know your thoughts, that creator coins itself is just such a saturated market. They don't need necessarily an extra token in the sea of things. What would be better for a creator instead would be a direct tipping mechanism. Say, Zora back in the day was like, hey, you like this piece of content, buy it. And your supporters would buy it and there was no problem. What do you think about that whole model? Because your model could have existed without a content coin. You could still battle versus battle, and then maybe you can do your token itself as the underlying layer of what you want to bet. That would make sense, but you decided to go the content route. What do you think about those that think there's no need for a content coin itself because it's saturated? What would you say to that?
So I think the important thing that we've been trying to figure out is these content coins are, they're creating interest, engagement, clicks, value transfer between two different users, and and a trading aspect on top of that. And I think the idea of a content coin is just creating this cohesive experience between all these different users, and I think it brings it kind of all together to the value of the app token, which I think is super interesting on how it all comes together.
Let's talk about the app token. Token. It hasn't been released yet, or is it currently out?
No, it hasn't been released yet.
So let's talk. We love token talk, and we love alpha on this show. Talk to us. What is the token that runs Duels?
So the goal over the next several weeks is, continue perfecting the application, start building the community, start supporting other types of media. And the big part that we're trying to do is try to take part of the creator fees and start to purchase back some of the content coins. Now, over time, we believe that a lot of that value is going to accrue to the app layer token. And then we can start that flywheel again with some of the fees. Now, over time, we have an entire platform that allows you to create these apps very, very easily. And we believe that the tokens associated with these apps will, accrue in value with one another the more of these apps that we start launching.
Interesting. So now okay? So you have this concept. Let me ask you, and then you could have launched this thing on any other chain, right? But you chose Base for a reason. My question to you is, why Base, and what is it about Base that appeals to your team the most?
So we started building, ETH mainnet a few years ago. Obviously, we started, dealing with all the high gas costs. We didn't see a, strong consumer experience. And as Base started building, their layer 2, we started experimenting with that chain. We started off on Polygon because of low fees, and then we started really seeing the ecosystem around Base and the community really starting to build out. And that's really what drew us to Base. And I think there's a big focus on products and products that bring value to users, and products that are actually driving value to the entire ecosystem. And because it's so product focused, really focused on, we thought Base was the perfect home for us.
Interesting. And so far, what has there been any downsides? I mean, be completely transparent. Base isn't like the end all be all. It's a great chain, but it does have its flaws. Have you guys noticed anything that has caused you some, maybe not concern, but some things that you've noticed that wish can be improved? Like, I guess what I was saying is, as entrepreneurs, because you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, most people on Web3 are entrepreneurs, not taking the traditional route. There's always going to be hurdles. There's always going to be obstacles coming along the way. So in your case, as you've been on Base, what has been some of the things that roadblocks maybe that you may not have foreseen coming onto Base, but you're working on getting through? Anything that comes to mind?
So the focus for us is we've only been seeing improvements every couple of months as we started building Onchain, and the fact that we have now this entire distribution network through Farcaster with their mini apps and their native wallet. It just made distribution completely easy. Now with the Coinbase wallet, we get extra distribution for the application, as well as all of our creators as well. And between those two, those two areas in which we're pushing, distribution is just that much greater for our creators. And then this cohesiveness between Coinbase wallet and Base. So far, it's been a really cohesive, clean experience. We're making a bet that in the future, X will probably allow you to potentially build these applications directly within X as well. And there might never be, a standalone app, but rather an opportunity to build these apps on top of all these networks. And we think that's really where the future is going.
That's incredible. And I do want to kind of get to you as a person before we wrap things up. What you're seeing on the screen is the transactions per day on the platform, and you just see that massive tick up. What do you think contributes the most? Is it more the general understanding that more people are aware of what you're building? Like, because that's a massive spike, and that's really good. It shows you're on the right trajectory. What do you think is a big key component of getting your transactions per day up as much as it is?
Yeah, so we launched the ability to, have UGC within the platform. As soon as we did that, we saw a huge uptick in terms of the number of coins that were being created. Number one. Number two, you could see that the app is very sticky because once a piece wins a duel, and then it immediately starts another duel without any sort of interaction or interference with the creator again. So they just get notified that another duel has started. So it really sucks users back in. And then this, created a really graceful kind of exit as well. So if your piece loses 3 times in a row, it just gracefully retires. And so it creates this framework upon, adding new content to the platform. So we're seeing this like flywheel starting to take effect. And then we're taking a portion of our fees, buying back the content coins as well. And then that is really starting to create a flywheel. So you can see that happening across several different applications in the ecosystem.
Man, I wish the app was working. I want to see what's number one. I want to see the daddle, but we're gonna have to get you back on when it's up and running in the next few weeks. I really want my viewers to see that in action. Now, before we wrap things up, most important thing that is, when people come to my show, talk about the project is great and all, but I really do focus on the individual behind the project because it's important for users to understand who's at the helm, right? If the team doesn't care or just flying by, why should the 1 to 2 billion users come on chain? So with you, I've read a little bit about you. You come with an impressive background. You've been acquired in the past. It seems like you definitely don't need to do this, but yet you're choosing to build Duels. You're choosing to start up in the trenches again, building something from scratch. My simple question to you, Naz, is why? Why are you here dedicating your life to Duels when really you could just be sipping a mojito on a beach?
So my previous company, I dealt with artists for many, many years. So I had an API and an ERP that allowed you to monetize images as printed products, and we had an ERP that got shipped to factories all around the world. And monetizing through print was low margin. It wasn't very an efficient way for these artists to be able to make enough revenue for themselves. However, our business got to a certain point. We sold it off to private equity. It was a super successful exit. And then when I saw NFTs, I was like, wow, that solves so many of our problems that I saw these artists, undergo, where it's digital monetization, programmatic royalties, high margin, high margin revenue for these creators. And then when I got into this space and we started experimenting with some of these technologies, my team, I started seeing, the movement of traders moving from art NFTs to PFPs, over to meme coins, and then off to coins. And I saw the artists being left behind. So I actually spent the last few years building in this space to figure out how do you merge the two worlds of token trading over here and still give value to artists over here where they're no longer selling one-of-ones or small editions that are not getting as much attention.
Yeah.
I think this is actually the perfect marriage between the two of them. And if I can bring value on this side over here, as well as value for traders, as well as value in the entire ecosystem as we build these different applications, then I'm creating a ton of impact. In terms of why I'm continuing to do this, I love building, I love creating. I just love startups, and I feel like this is a new beginning in terms of two major technologies from AI as well as blockchain that I can't imagine spending the next several years not building in this space, not playing around with these different technologies, not experimenting, and not building community around these platforms.
That's the level of passion I love to hear from a builder like yourself. You can tell that you're really in this, you believe in this, and it's in your DNA. A lot of entrepreneurs like myself, like I want to work. Like I can't, the last weekend my kid's nanny was gone, so I had to watch him while my wife was working. It was like, what am I doing? Like I need to work. So the retirement thing it wouldn't be for me. Not there yet though. But one day, Joe Rogan on base. Hey, I'm Bill. So let's think this. I want you to turn your imagination cap on. In a serious note, the year is July 15th, 2026. 1 year from now. In the grand scheme of things, where would you like to see Duels at, and any milestones that is your North Star?
So hopefully by that point, we've eaten our own dog food. We've launched several of these consumer applications. We've shown that you can actually do it using a lot of our backend infrastructure. And I think, some of the best infrastructure companies are going to be consumer apps that, really prove that they can do the hard work of finding product market fit, building a community, launching a token around it. And then over time, open up our back end so that people can very easily build these applications, be able to get value out of them. And then we start building an ecosystem of apps that all have tokens associated with it. And then content is pushing out through this entire network of applications, bringing value back to creators as well as traders, and also, very low code app developers. And, that vision of all parties winning together and creating something, that's not zero sum, to me is super exciting.
Incredible. Nas, appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
We got to do this again. Ping me when the app is ready to go, because I really do want to play it out. I want to like battle somebody. Like, if you want free money, guys, just battle me. I probably will lose, but hey, I want to cook. I want to try. I like trying new things. So let me know.
I will definitely check you out and try to get this thing up and running for you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, my
Thanks,
friend.
Bill.
Take care, my friend.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Everyone, that was Nas from Duels. I love it, man. I love talking to just people who are building, who are cooking. It takes a lot of energy and, belief to put yourself out there. So if you're a builder in this space, just know your boy Bill respects you. We have 417 people today. I guess people want to sleep in today, man. What's up with that? Typically we get 2K max, 2K, 3K a show. I guess everyone's too busy watching the charts. And that's okay. The charts are exciting. We got ETH at 30.56. Like, ooh wee. Yeah, we want ETH to go to the moon. Like, we really want ETH to go to the moon. If ETH goes to the moon, like, oh, we're chilling. So we're gonna wait 5 minutes. We got Toady Hawk jumping on, I believe, in 5 minutes. So stay tuned for that. So in the meantime, let's look at Farcaster. What's going on in Farcaster land? Let's look at Farcaster. If you guys haven't done so, follow me on Farcaster. I really am not a big deal there, but it's really hard to grow following there. But yeah, let's check it out. Again, if you are on Farcaster, you got to try these mini apps. It makes things discoverable so much easier. If you're a project, get into this. Let me try if Duels works again. Doesn't work. I'm really, really bummed. I wanted to try them out, actually. But you know which one does work? Topi Tales. In case you guys don't know, I am the co-founder of a project called Topi. It's an NFT project, but what we're doing is bringing decentralized storytelling to the world. So we created a Farcaster mini app, and you can play. You can literally play Let's Get Silly, why don't we? So basically, the funniest lower agent in Web3. Create a story in 30 seconds, no wallet, no pressure, just fun. We actually are in Chinese as well. In case you ever want to play in Chinese, there's a button here. But this is like the gateway of what we're trying to do, get people introduced to the world of Topi. And then if you like it, then you go to our main site. It's called Topipedia. And there, you can actually write the backstories for your characters on chain, and it lives with that character, which is cool. So for this mini app, there's rankings, there's different, let's see the leaderboard right now. Bill, rank number 2. I got 60 XP, 2 streak, 2 stories. Man, try me, guys. Try me. I dare you to try me. Let's go. So basically what we just try to do is just create fun and then share. So let's get silly. Oh, I created my Topi Tale. Today's story was no one had been in the basement since the Great Hammer incident. But Billy opened the door, heard a faint squeal, and immediately felt scared. It was too late. The basement had already begun to laugh. That's the story that I got today. You just kind of choose 5 different adjectives. You go, and that's why we like the apps. Let's see, another one. Let's see. If you ever want to do it, we like paragraph posts as well. See, look at this. This is like the great way of doing things. Everything is done on this website, so you don't ever have to leave. You don't have to ever leave Farcaster, and that's really powerful. Like, say I want to, let's see, say I want to read something. I don't have to like click out. Everything is done here. So let's see. I made one yesterday. Let's see. This one seems interesting. Why refuse to take crypto seriously? Intrusive thoughts. See, you click it and you can just read it here. So Chloe says, I'm going to generalize because I'm tired. And I don't know. I'm not going to read it all. But, I mean, this lady just wrote a novel. But it's kind of cool because you can literally just get all your information here, like Koopa, Song coins, boom, all right here. You can just talk. You can read. That's the way distribution works. You want to make people have all the attention on here and then never leave. That's the whole goal of these things. So that's why it's a very powerful source. Anyways, we're going to wait a couple more minutes for the man, the myth, the legend, Toady. Hopefully you can come. Tomorrow is TBA's event. Very excited that I will be going there along with Rachel Rose. Me and her will be conducting some interviews, talking to some people. We're getting there bright and early. So hopefully, if you were at the event, you guys will come. Oh, yes, Jess, there is a contest for the funniest short story, $200. Literally, all you do is 30 seconds, just create a Topi tale, share it, boom, you're entered. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. If you guys want to know more, we do Topi Tuesdays. We'll be on in about an hour, so definitely join for that. But yeah, so tomorrow's a Coinbase event. Very much looking forward to it. I think a lot of people, it's just kind of dead on base because people are just kind of waiting for that. So let's see. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Maybe Rachel and I can speak to Brian. Brian Armstrong, if you're listening, feel free to talk to us. That'd be pretty dope. But it should be a good time. A lot of people from base are there. So I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect. It would be so dope, though, if they like announce like an airdrop or something. I really don't know. I doubt they would. But a man can hope. A man can hope. Would be really, really cool if they did that. All right. So let me just hit up Toady. All right. Toady is joining. I like it. And we are going to add him. Looking forward to having the man on. Yeah, so Toady's a legend in some. Let's look at Toady's stuff real quick. Toady. This man is the definition of being based. Let's see Toady's stuff. Oops. All right, Toady Hawk. He this guy has 70,000 followers on Warpcast. I remember interviewing him about a year ago or something. It was very unknown, but he was down to just chat it up, and I thought that was really cool of him. And I love watching him kind of grow and experiment. This guy experiments, and what he's doing with Betterment is super cool, and it's fun. And the attention flywheel is just massive. So we're gonna talk all about that. He will be joining very soon. But yeah, so anyways, tomorrow should be fun. TBA, they're making a big deal out of it. Fingers crossed, though. Airdrop's coming. If it does. Max bid, your favorite base meme. Send it to the moon. That would be so cool. Oh, I hope they do. Free money for all. We can all hope. We can all hope. Anyways, we're just going to wait for Toady. So yeah, tomorrow we also do have Brian on base coming on as well tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing a stream with him around noon or something, I believe. Maybe 12:30. I forget what time. So definitely tune in for that. It'll be really fun. Have them on. We'll cook a little bit, and then I will be heading to the event. Thursday, Rachel and I don't think have a show. I will be chatting it up, of course, with my boy Chaos Chris on the next layer, where we just are in the trenches. And Friday, I'm definitely not doing anything except watching number go up. Hopefully number go up. That is all I want for Christmas is number go up. And I want Doge to come on, Doge. Let's go. Come on now. Come on now, Doge. I really want Doge to like go to the moon. I really want all this stuff to go to the moon. But nothing you can do. Just gotta let things cook. All right, let's see. So yeah, we'll just wait for Toady and get everyone on their way. Shout out to each and every one of you joining on. Let's just make sure Toady is joining very soon. I'm hoping this is what I'm hoping right now. Dogecoin is literally indicative of what I think is going to. I think it's going to. I really like Doge right now. I don't think it drops below this level. I mean, it could, I guess, but I don't think so. I think this is a clear Wyckoff accumulation. Let's go. Let's go. But anyways, I think we have a legend in the building. I repeat, a legend is in the building. His name is Toady Hawk from Betterment. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I was looking around for the legend in the building, so you
The
caught me off
legend.
guard.
I mean, the man with a massively great stash. It's grown very nicely, sir.
Thank you. It's my based stash.
Oh
Very-
man, I haven't
based
seen.
mustache.
I haven't seen
mustache, very
Jack.
based.
I haven't seen Jack in a while. How's his stash looking?
It's always glorious. Jack's stash is always glorious. How you doing today, Bill?
Good, man. Good. It's good. I'm like staring at the charts. Markets is looking good. We got Coinbase Wallet event. I assume you're not flying in for that.
No, I couldn't make this event, unfortunately. I've got 2 kids under 2.5, so I had to be strategic with the travel that I'm going to be doing over the next little while. So hoping to save that up for base camp in September. But I'm really bummed that I can't be there. It looks like it's going to be an awesome event.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling of 2 kids under 2. I have twin boys that are going to turn 3 in September,
Wow.
and it's a wild time.
I couldn't imagine twins, man. It's crazy.
Bro, twin boys, they want the same things. They fight for everything. They like hit each other because they think it's funny. One sense of, the deal. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
But listen, Toady, it's an honor to have you on. So this series obviously is the Road to Onchain Summit, sponsored by the Onchain Summit team, which is great. Tickets on sale. You're not going to that, are you?
Can't make that one either, unfortunately. Quigs reached out to me, and I would have loved to make it. It sounds like a really cool event, but
no, it's fun. It's fun, but you got to be strategic. We get it. But
exactly,
what we're doing on this show is also highlighting the top farcaster mini apps. Basker and lit me for that, and so what better way to bring on somebody than Betterment? Better, yeah, exactly. Better. That was number 1 as of a couple days ago. I think he overtook Noise. So talk to me, Toady. What is Better? I know what it is, but for those tuning in, talk to us. What is Better?
So Betterment is an app that basically turns the idea of supporting on-chain creators into a gamified experience in a mini app, is the best way to describe it. So basically, we run 3 rounds a week in a mini app on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. EST. There's a $1,500 prize pool made up of base tokens that are contributed by our sponsors and partners. When you enter the app as a user, you'll see a piece of content by a creator that you can mint editions of. And for every edition you mint, we give you a free ticket to spin a little neon wheel. And you spin that wheel and you get bonuses back in that token. Could be 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x, or 100x. So it just adds a little bit of dopamine, a little bit of fun to the experience of collecting on chain. So far, it's worked a lot in terms of like making an inflection point for creators so that people will actually show up, set a calendar entry to come and collect their work. As well as I do, I'm a creator, you're an on-chain creator. Sometimes it can feel really bad when you put a lot of time into creating a podcast or another piece of visual art. You put it on chain and it's just crickets. Nobody comes to collect it. And it's not because they don't like Bill. It's not because they don't like your art. It's because the space is loud. the space is crowded and it's hard to keep track of everything. So your greatest supporters do want to support you. They do want to patronize you, but they need a call to action. They need a reason to come and do that. And so Betterment was designed to be one of many reasons why someone might say, hey, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to set an alarm because this is a fun game. I'm going to show up. I'm going to collect some podcasts. I'm going to collect some art. And I might, get some bonuses back in base meme coins as well.
So, yeah, I mean, it's everything you're saying is really important. It's hard to vie for attention in such a noisy market. There's always something going on, and it's easy to get lost in the noise. But Betterment is capturing that attention to be like, hey, it's kind of like a show. Like, hey, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're on. This is where you're going to be. So the thinking is, and I've participated in it as well. Say you have you're a content creator, you link up with Betr. Now, what is the token that a random user who spins the wheel, they're going to get the episode, but they have to pay for it. But what do they receive in return? Just the episode or their tokens? Like, what's the prize?
So if we're talking about a podcast, then they'll receive the NFT of the podcast. So for the MVP, we partnered with pods.media, which is an amazing place for people who have podcasts to bring it on chain. Shout out Lucas and the team. I have a podcast called Zero Pod, as you know, and my co-creator at Zero Rights Media also has a podcast called Must Clank. So we figured it'd be easy to dog food the app with podcasts, and that's how we've started. Actually, incidentally, we just talk about this a little bit later, but we just this week introduced new modes to be able to feature other creators, other non-podcast creators, which involved integrating other platforms aside from pods.media. But to keep it simple, basically, wherever your podcast is minted, that's where people collect it. They'll see it in their wallet just as if they had minted it, wherever on pods.media, for example. But then they get the chance to spin the wheel, which is basically an experience that we've built into the mini app. And then we just give the tokens as bonuses. The tokens themselves come from sponsors and partners, basically, who are often projects that we curate that want to get more eyeballs on their projects, that want to get their token into more hands. So essentially, I like to, talk about it as like distribution and distribution at the same time. Distribution in terms of eyeballs, getting your token project in front of interesting folks who might be looking to learn more about what you're building on Farcaster, and also just literally distributing your token, because that's one of the biggest challenges for tokens or so the projects that have tokens is like, how do you get those tokens into the hands of more people who might be intrigued, who might learn more, who might buy more, without worrying that they're going to be like claimed by bots and like sibbled all to hell. And so we kind of take care of both those problems. And hopefully the goal is that we're curating both coins and content at the same time. So we're curating projects that are interesting, that have tokens for people to learn about. And we're also curating content that's being created and helping those creators get paid for their creativity.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, from a content creator point of view, you're getting yourself your eyeballs. It's getting attention. You're getting your eyeballs in front of thousands of people or whoever. I mean, did I read somewhere that typically the contests end within like 12 minutes?
So that's been the constant struggle since we launched this. We've only been live for 2 months, I should point out. And one of the problems that we've had since the very beginning is that there's a lot of demand. We designed this to be an event-based game on purpose because I've spent a lot of time in the Nouns ecosystem, and I was really pilled on the idea of like something that happens every day on chain, because Nouns is a daily auction NFT project, something that happens every day on chain that people kind of like get together and gather around. And so that definitely informed the design of Betterment in terms of like, let's have a game 3 times a week that people can look forward to, and that'll create the urgency that other types of mint incentive protocols maybe lack. And so that was kind of where we came up with the idea for Betterment. Like, how can we get people into an app once or twice or 3 times a week so that they're ready to collect?
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, the from a creator point of view, it's a home run because you're getting your attention out there. From a collector's point of view, you're participating in this gamified experience. Like when the app goes live, or when the game goes live, there's a wheel that you spin. You don't know what you're gonna get, and it's just fun. Now, talk to me, Tody. First of all, like, you were somewhat, even 2 months ago, you've only been out, but you are one of the first to really, to get to the number 1 spot is obviously not easy at all. So what is it about your app specifically that you think is, because again, we want to give advice to other, builders who are trying to get, amplification on Farcaster to create their own for their project.
Yeah.
What do you think is the secret sauce, besides a dope project? What do you think the secret sauce is for your Farcaster mini app in specific that gets the attention for people to come back day in and day out? Do you think it's the gamification with the better karma? Do you think it's the prizes that you give out? Like, what do you think
Yeah.
is that secret sauce?
Yeah, I think you touched on it a little bit there with the better karma. For those who are watching who haven't been sort of following along with what we're building, we sort of made a loyalty program called Better Karma, where every time you play the game, every time you spin the wheel, every time you share the app, and do these types of things to support the app, you earn better karma, which are basically like off-chain points. And then there's multipliers for holding our token as well, which is $better, BETR. And we did this so that people would have something to do in the app on days that when there weren't spins. So some of you can go in, check your karma, share it with your community, build up your karma that way. And then sort of going back to the beginning, when we launched our token, our companion token for the app, Betr, we were very intentional about setting aside 50% of the supply right off the top to be locked up and used for community initiatives and airdrops. We've already done 2 different airdrops. They've both been what we call the elusive Farcaster bullish airdrops. The price of the market cap and the price of the token rather have 2x and 3x after our airdrops because of the attention that they've sort of generated. And that's getting people interested in going and checking their karma, and it kind of just gives them a reason to loop back around and check out the app, even if there's not a game going. And the last thing I want to say about that too is that we are thinking a lot about how to keep that momentum going. Momentum is an incredible gift. We've been very lucky and fortunate to see so many people check out the app this week because of the airdrop that we gave primarily on Tuesday. And we're thinking very long and hard about ways that we can sustainably add things to the app so that people have a reason to show up in the app every single day to check their karma, sure, but maybe other things that they might be able to do in the app other than spin. So I don't want to give too much away, but we've got some things coming down the line that should be pretty interesting.
I mean, feel free to give it away, bro. I'll let you spill the alpha on Bill's show. Let's go. We like alpha. Now
well, I mean, if you've been paying attention, you'd see that we raised the price per spin last week, which used to be 0.0007 ETH, which is the standard mint cost for a quote unquote free mint on pods.media. In other words, that's the platform fee to mint on pods. But now we've raised it by 0.0001, but it's not to put more money in our own pockets. We started diverting 0.0001 ETH of every spin from every round to a separate wallet called betternot.sleep.eth. And we haven't revealed yet what's going to be happening with that. But all I know is that the ETH that's ending up in that wallet is being twapped for Betr after every round. And so you'll have to follow along to see what happens there.
Excellent. Two more questions that I have for you, my friend, because I think you're very, very Chad and interesting. But on a serious topic, Farcaster mini apps is the future. Base is tripling down on it. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Coinbase wallet, they're going all in. What do you think it means? Like, how important do you think Farcaster mini apps going forward is? Is it? Do you think? Like, how big do you think Farcaster mini apps will be? And do you think that everyone should build one to capture that attention? What role do you think Farcaster mini apps will play going forward if Base wants to make their wallet, the app store on chain?
That's an interesting question. I think what's so interesting about mini apps and about Farcaster more generally is that everything is money Legos. Everything is composable. You can sort of build on top of other protocols, build other protocols on top of yours. You can integrate with other mini apps, deep link back and forth. And in all those cases, you've got an integrated wallet within Farcaster that just unlocks so many things that your users can do that they can't do outside. Like if you're in an iOS app, for example, until recently, it was very difficult to have any kind of crypto transaction in an iOS app. I know that's changing bit by bit, but it's certainly going to take a while before it's frictionless to use crypto, for example, for microtransactions and these types of things. When you've got a gatekeeper like Apple who wants to take 30% of every single transaction, etc. So the idea of being able to build an experience for people on an app like Farcaster and allow them to sort of plug their wallet in seamlessly so that they can actually transact in your app is just kind of a superpower. And then also on top of that, because it's like tied into a social graph, the distribution is built in. So when people are using your mini app, they're sharing it on the timeline. You know, you're not expecting them to go and text their mom, hey, come check out this app. It's showing up right in their timeline. This is a trending app. You talked about the leaderboard as well. You know, both Coinbase wallets slash TBA and the Farcaster native app each have their separate leaderboards for mini apps that people check on a regular basis. And so for Betterment, that's been, you know, definitely a boon when we've charted number 1 or number 2 on these 2 separate leaderboards. It brings a lot of new attention. People check it out. They're like, oh, what's this? They'll open it up. They'll see, you know, maybe they'll set an alarm for the next game. They'll buy some of the Betr tokens. So that kind of distribution is very difficult to come by. And it's something that's kind of like inherent to the medium for mini apps on Farcaster.
Incredible. And like I said, for those that are wondering, this live stream will be cut into a podcast because I want people to hear about Betr, not just on the live stream. I want this on pods. I want this on Spotify. We still have to distribute this on typical normal places that people are on. They're not all on chain. So we are going to do that. Last question.
Can we show how the game works?
Yeah,
I know you're sharing your screen, and between the games, between the games, you can't actually see the game itself, right? Because the round is only live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But if you go in the top corner there, Get Betr, click that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I could play
that shows you more information. You'll see a link that says demo. You click the demo, you'll see like a dummy version of the app at the top there.
Oh yeah,
at the top says try the demo.
See, look at that.
This will show you. Yeah, there you go. This is the game basically. So they show up. There's some fun jazz music. You
click to spin.
You click to spin.
Read the origin of based. Okay, click to spin. I want 10 tickets, bro.
10 tickets. You're minting 10. Not really, because this is a demo. You got your neon wheel. Click to spin. Let's see if we can get you to win a jackpot live on the air. Come on, one time. Oh my god!
Did you rig it? Did you rig it to do that?
I did not rig that. You can check. That's funny. Oh, that's really funny.
Oh,
and obviously,
man.
Unfortunately, not a real jackpot. It's a demo, but it's pretty funny.
But still.
So that's what happens. And the only difference is it's real content, real meme coins or real tokens on base. And you can kind of tell that it obviously adds a little bit of an element of dopamine and a little bit of fun to the process. That's hopefully a lot more fun than just going to your favorite mint platform and clicking mint several times. So that's,
I think it's like, I don't know if you like did psychology behind it, but the color scheme is just like on cue. It makes me want to like party. The music is just like, I'm at a little festival. Like, I want to sip on some like, you know, vodka soda. So super cool. My last question though, and I'll let you go. Sure. In all seriousness, note, Tody, is, you know, you definitely are a man who doesn't need to be doing this, but you are somebody who constantly builds, and I find it very inspiring. You constantly want to build, innovate, and do new things, yet you don't need to, and I know you don't need to, but you still choose to do that. My simple question to you is, why are you so passionate about building on-chain?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess that really comes down to why did I sort of shift in my career to work more on chain. And we had a community spaces for Betterment right before this, actually. That's why I was a few minutes late. And one of the things I was talking about is just the difference in my sort of pre-crypto career to working in this space. Is just like pre-crypto was all about walled gardens. Everybody's just more concerned with what they can build and how they can protect it. And by contrast, I noticed as I started to go down the crypto rabbit hole and get more involved with building on chain, the general ethos and attitude, and maybe it's because of like Ethereum first principles, but the general ethos is like, let's work together, let's collaborate, let's focus on composability. How can we sort of build together for a better future? And that was just like super compelling to me. Just the idea of like setting your content free, setting your ideas free, executing on the ones that you think are most likely to succeed, working with others instead of trying to keep them down, and searching for positive sum outcomes are all things that I think are really important. And that's why I build here on Base every day. I think Base really sort of is the one ecosystem, in addition to the Nouns ecosystem, that in my experience has been very focused on that sort of positive sum energy.
Amazing. Tody, as always, appreciate it, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you on chain.
See you on chain. That should be the new slogan for people everywhere. See you on chain. I like it. Tody Hawk, a legend in the house. There's really nothing more to say. This man is embodies what it means to be based. Definitely honored to have him on. So there you have it, guys. Today we had Duels. We had Toady on with Betr. Got to learn some things. You got to laugh. Plus, I won a fake jackpot. Let's go. Today is my lucky day. It must be. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. In about 20 minutes, we are going to be having Toby Tuesdays. Come on, vibe with the tribe, and let's cook. I'll tell you all about what we're doing with Toby, which is really dope. That's my way of building Onchain as well. Besides doing this content stuff, which I love, and see you guys tomorrow. We'll be on for a brief second before the Coinbase event. I'm Bill. This has been the Road to Onchain Summit. Peace.